Hey guys, it's Thomas Christopher, aka Tommy Jets. This is going to be a little special edition feature of the Inner City Jets podcast, where I'll be bringing on a member of the New York Jets Sack Exchange, Jets legend, Ring of Honor player, Marty Lyons, in a phone interview. So I hope you guys all enjoy this as much as I did. This is Thomas Christopher here with Marty Lyons, New York Jets legend and member of the Sack Exchange. Marty, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, Tom. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited. It's not every day that I get to talk to a true Jets legend. Funny enough, I have a mini helmet of you signed. Got it 20 years ago from my father. It's actually the first piece of signed Jets memorabilia that I have. So you are up there in terms of some of my favorite Jets of all time.
Well, I appreciate that, Tom. We got to get you a full size helmet, maybe even a jersey.
Oh, dude, that would truly make my day. Honestly. So ESPN, greenlit the production for the Sack Exchange 30 for 30 with the four of y'all. Were you surprised that it took so long for that story of you guys to be told?
No, not really. I think it's perfect timing. I think with Joe going into the Hall of Fame last year and with the Jets playing as well as they did last year with the defensive line, um, have a flashback of the four of us and what we were able to accomplish. And I just wish that they had included the back seven because the front four can only work if the back seven gives them the time to get to the quarterback. And of course, we had two outstanding edge rushers in Joe Klecko and Mark Gastineau. And Abdul and I, we were trying to hold down the two guards in the center. But it should be a very interesting piece. I think they interviewed each one of us individually for 3 hours and then the whole group for 3 hours. So I'm sure that ESPN 30 for 30 is going to do an excellent job putting it together.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you don't have to give anything away, but is there anything in the documentary that fans may not be privy to?
No, I don't think so. I think that, there was a lot of conflict, or not really conflict. A lot of us didn't socialize, Monday through Friday together, except for Joe and I. And we knew that what we had to do as a team out there on any given Sunday and or a Monday, and we just went out there and performed, and everybody kind of went their separate ways until the next game. But it's going to be interesting. I think that it's going to bring light to, the front four, but it's going to bring light to what we were able to accomplish as a unit.
Yeah, I know I'm incredibly excited to see it, and I know Jet fans are as well. You mentioned Abdul. He's currently the only one yet to be inducted into the team's Ring of Honor. Are you surprised he hasn't been inducted yet, and do you think he should be?
Well, I definitely think he should be, and I think that it would be an honor for all the three of us that are in there to welcome Abdul. And we're trying to put the push on with the organization to try to bring his name up every chance that we can get. And we keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, one day he'll be up there with us because he was an integral part of the SAC exchange.
Yeah, I think it would be a great idea to have the three of you kind of introduce him. That would be actually tremendous vibes at MetLife. So now you played 11 years in the league, 43 sacks, all of them with the New York Jets. What do you believe is the biggest difference in the game now as opposed to when you were a player?
Well, without a doubt, Tom, it's free agency. Players playing out their contracts and then going to other teams. When I was playing, we didn't have free agency, so you stayed with the organization for as long as you could, and then you could either retire with class or they would release you, and then you hope that you would get picked up by another team. But with the free agency in there now, and there's so much money involved, players that are getting a little bit older, they know when their last contract is coming, so they kind of hold out a little bit more. We're seeing that with Reddick, with the Jets now, and you know you got to do what's best for your family, and I think that that's what he's doing. And I don't know how long he's going to hold out, and I know that the Jets are excited about having him, but you got to get in there and you got to learn the system and you got to get yourself in football shape. I don't care what kind of physical shape you're in; it's completely different from being ready to play a game.
No, I completely agree that the Hassan Reddick saga is definitely interesting. There's a lot of speculation on each side. Everybody's kind of taking turns, taking sides on it, as I should say. But you kind of you hit the nail on the head, and you also brought up a good point of getting acclimated back to football. Now we know Aaron Rodgers, he had his Achilles injury last year. He seems like he's healthy this year, and the Jets do have high hopes for him at quarterback. What are your expectations of the team this year?
Well, I think you got to take it one game at a time, but watching him throw the ball the last 2 weeks, he still has an arm. He gets rid of the ball quick. And when you look at the way he, leads the team and the leadership qualities that he has, I think the difference too is the blend in the locker room. You got a lot of young players that are making a contribution to the team, and they're welcome with the open arms by the veterans. When I came in, a lot of the rookies, we weren't even allowed to say anything because we didn't earn the right to say anything.
Right.
And I just think it's a nice blend of young players, old players, and the leader of the team, without a doubt, is Aaron. And I think he leads by example. He inspires people. Last year when the Jets picked him up, everybody forgot about the disappointing year that they had the previous season. And all the suites were sold out. Everybody was coming to the practice. And then all of a sudden, four plays into the opening of the 2023 season, he gets hurt. And I don't think the Jets were probably prepared for that. And then Zach Wilson goes back in, and everybody knows what happened to that season.
Yeah, it's definitely been tough for Jet fans, but it's great to see how much I want to say hype. I guess I'll say hype is surrounding the team, which hasn't really been there in about a decade or so. And speaking of, today is actually Aaron Rodgers' first game back at MetLife as the Jets host, the AFC rival in the New England Patriots. Do you have any thoughts on today's game?
Well, I hope, just go out there and win. You play the Patriots twice. It's an AFC East game. So if you win by one, great. But if you can put 30 up on them, put 30. I remember my second game, my rookie season, we went up to New England. At halftime, it was 35-3. And at the end of the game, it was 56-3. So they sent us a message that game. So I'm still looking to pay them back for that 56-3. So I think the fans are going to be electric tonight. The stadium is going to be exciting. And they just have a chance right now to go 2-1. And then you got Denver, which you should be able to beat, but never look ahead. You just got to go out there and perform. And then you go to London and you play Minnesota. And then you come back and you play Buffalo on Monday night. So it's a nice little run for them. They will have played 3 games in 10 days, which, that's a grind. But now you win tonight, you got like a bye week. You got 10 days before you play again.
Right, and that'll be huge for them going forward, especially if they can come away from this game, especially against a division rival. On top of that, if they can play well and crank out a win, it will not only do wonders for them, but it'll help boost the Jet fan base as well.
Yeah, well, and I think, Tom, tonight you just got to shut down the run. If you look at New England, I think if you total up all the yards by their wide receivers, you may have 85 yards. That's not going to get it done in the NFL. They're going to try to run the ball. They ran the ball against Seattle last week, losing in overtime 23-20. But on the ground, they pounded out 185 yards. So look for them to try to run the ball tonight.
Yeah, I actually put that in one of my keys to the game, and hopefully that the Jets will be able to stop it, because they've definitely have had their issues through the first 2 weeks of the season. A little bit better last week, which is promising. But as you alluded to, this Patriots receiving group is not the greatest, but their running game is definitely worthy of paying attention to. Now, I did actually want to talk to you about your foundation, the Marty Lyons Foundation in your name. You've done excellent work helping sick children. You actually founded the organization while you were still playing with the Jets. Could you let any of the new fans who may not know the reason why you started this charity?
Yeah, Tom, I was 25 years old, and on March 4th, my oldest son was born. On March 8th, 4 days later, my father passed away at the age of 58 of a heart attack. And then 2 days later, a little boy that I was a big brother to died of leukemia at the age of 5.5. And I really did. I struggled for an answer. You question God at the time, you question your faith, and then you realize that a day turns into a week turns into the month. You can't bring them back. So I started the Foundation for Terminally Ill Children or Children with a Chronic Life-Threatening Illness, along with my teammate Kenny Shroy. And I wanted to take their greatest wish in life and make it become a reality. And, we look back 42 years later, the first recipient that we actually, sponsored would have been 59. So that's when you can see the length of it. And, in 42 years, we've raised over $43 million. We now operate in 14 states, and we've helped close to 8,500 families. So, I think it's was an opportunity for me to grow as a person, but it also was an opportunity for me to take my God-given tools and then do something else with them.
No, absolutely. I couldn't imagine the amount of loss and the initial suffering that you had to deal with, and to be able to have that energy kind of come together and help all these children who, some of them don't get that kind of opportunity in life based on, their family or life situations. It truly is a beautiful thing, Marty. And I'm greatly appreciative that you are able to help these children, and you're doing so much for these children. I know you guys just had an event on the 15th in Boston, or in New England, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I know you guys have an event. I just wanted to highlight some of your events for anybody listening right now. You have one on September 30th at the Long Island Chapters Courage Classic. That's a golf outing. You also have one on November 14th, is the third annual gala at the Bourne Mansion in Oakdale. And then ending at the month of November, November 30th, you guys are actually having the Lions Bowl, the flag football event at MetLife. Is there anything else you would like that you guys have coming up, or anything else?
No, but you know what? I look for three types of people, Tom. I think, the biggest thing is we've got to continue to raise money. The more money we raise, the more kids that we can help.
Right.
And if we can't raise money, I want to raise awareness that these kids are out there really getting cheated out of life, and they're taken away at an early age. It doesn't really, it doesn't just affect the child that has passed away. It's affecting the whole family, the siblings and the parents and everybody involved. And so if we find people that can donate money, that's great. We look for people that can donate time, because it's the one commodity we can't make more of.
Right.
And if you don't have money and you don't have time, give us your thoughts and prayers, because maybe one prayer is answered and we save a life.
No, absolutely. That's truly a beautiful message, and I hope that more people end up putting their best foot forward and able to help the charity in any way, as you alluded to, for one of those three ways. That's really it for me, Marty. I do truly appreciate you taking out the time to speak with me. It's really been an honor.
Well, Tom, I really want to thank all the fans for their support for the last 45 years, because I've actively been involved with the organization for 45 years, and thank fans for everything they did for me as a person, everything that they've done for the foundation. And let's go Jets tonight. Let's send a message to all the other teams in the AFC East, but especially the New England Patriots, because when you look at it, they've won 16 games and only lost 2 in the last 10 years. So we've got to start turning that around, and tonight's a perfect opportunity.
Absolutely. There's no better time like the present. Am I right?
You're right. You know what? You got to take advantage of every opportunity you get, because you don't know how many opportunities you're really going to have on the football field. The game's so violent that it only takes one injury that maybe you can come back from, or maybe you can't come back from.